All right, family, it's Tasha, mamabear prepping. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it, baby. So I've got a master list for you today. I don't know about master. It's a pretty big list. It's 25 items of things to get. I thought about a lot of things before I did this list, you guys, in regards to, I thought about, what things would I want if I was in the field, just like I was in the military? What would I want if I'm a recession, preparing for recession, war, economic collapse, grid down, I took into consideration. I just thought about different cowboy days, end of the world, doomsday. I just thought about Mad Max and just all the scenarios that could happen and what I would want, the things that I would personally want in my life, because there's certain things that, didn't make the list that you're like, how could you not want that? But to me, there's so many other ways that I can come up with what is needed that I'm not concerned. For example, you guys, toilet paper did not make my list because there's 1,000 ways to wipe your bum. And so that's just would not be a priority. These things are priority. And they're priority for certain reasons, right? They have a purpose and why they're so important to me, okay? Now, real quick before we get started, I want to say, because you're going to see the thumbnail, there's a lot of stuff going on all of a sudden. Just broke loose yesterday, all hell. And now you're going to have and see huge division in this country once again. We just got done with division, right? We just got done with things happening that were purposely dividing our country for no reason. And now once again, we have such a hot topic that everybody and their mother it's going to be divided. Now, I just want to put out there two things. One, do not be distracted, okay? This is bread and circuses. Do not be distracted by this, okay? I'm not saying to not care. I'm not saying to not have an opinion. I'm just saying do not be distracted and keep your eye on the prize and keep preparing. Keep doing what you need to do, okay? And two, baby, whatever side you are on, we can be friends, okay? I understand both sides. I like both sides. That could be very harsh for some people to hear. Like, how dare you? What do you mean? You can't be in the middle, Tasha. I absolutely can. And we can have a whole side discussion on why, okay? Because there is a lot of reasons why I'm in the middle, okay? But it's a distraction, okay? So stop it and keep doing the things. Here's some things that I'm doing, you guys, and that are musts. Rice and beans. If you do not have rice and beans in your preps, if you have not stopped and said, this is a staple, I need to get this staple done, you've been putting it off because you're like, I don't want to get these big heavy bags of food, I don't want to take the time, you're procrastinating about putting it in buckets or putting it away in jars or however you're going to keep it, and you've been putting this off, shame on you, because this is a huge staple. It goes very far and it is needed. Whole countries, whole cultures live off of rice and beans. You can live off of this stuff, okay? Rice and beans. Start small. Start with a 25-pound bag, okay, of rice, and figure out how many meals that is going to feed your family, okay? And then you start buying more, and you get whatever your goals of your food that you're working on right now for you, because everybody's different. If you're at the beginning, you're working on your 60 days worth of food, or you're working on even 2 weeks worth of food, or you're working on a month or 2 years or 5 years, wherever you're at in it, you better look at your rice and beans, really look at it, really inventory, see where you're at with it, and then stock up. You need to do this, okay? Next thing I have on the list, you guys are gonna be like, how do you go from rice and beans to this? Hey, I do. This is how my brain works. I'm thinking about survival things and because it's fresh in my mind, okay? My next thing is tampons. Now, you might be like, Tasha, there's a lot of things in life that you would need to survive and you would do without some tampons. Okay, baby, listen, maybe toilet paper is your thing. Maybe you need something else to make it in life. But if I'm in any kind of survival situation, period, I'm trying to have tampons. I'm not trying to bleed down my legs. I'm not trying to deal with, dirty laundry. I'm not trying to deal with all this extra, anxiety that would come with how do I control bodily fluids coming out of my body, okay? I'm not doing it, okay? And so I thought about this because I watched Naked and Afraid last night, and it's Naked and Afraid XL, and there's women on there, and the show is they have to make it 40 days. Some of them have to go 60 days. And some of the women, I'm like, 60 days, that means they're going to have a period out there, like maybe a couple times. So I'm like, how do they do that? They're naked, like whatever. I Googled it, girl, they get tampons, okay? The show, they're able to use tampons. So I'm like, oh, okay, easy day, right? Because you need that. So again, if you're a female, if you have females in your household, if you have females that are supposed to come to your household, whatever the case may be, you need tampons and you need years worth of tampons. Okay. You do not want to get caught with some kind of economic collapse, some kind of recession, some kind of shortage. We run out of tampons. You can't get a tampon. And, I'm telling you, so at a minimum, you need several months, okay? But as a woman, I'm telling you, baby, it get you a couple years worth. You need these, okay? And if you use other stuff, then get the other stuff, all right? Moving on, next thing. Again, you're like, this list is just so wonky. It's all over the place. It's just like, what? CCTV. Love CCTVs. One, they're way cheaper than your security systems. All these security systems you get, they're very, very expensive, you guys. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, okay? Especially if you're trying to get a big system, right? You're trying to get 5 or 8 cameras. You're trying to get, even if you want more than 4 cameras, right? Quite expensive, usually have to be on some kind of system, some kind of contract, got to be part of their cloud system, online, all of this stuff. I like CCTVs because grid down, as long as you're able to power, your little set, right? Your monitor and your little console, those still work, right? They're off the grid, but it does have the capability to record stuff and keep stuff on a cloud type situation. If you want, you get a terabyte, whatever it is, there is an ability to save data, save stuff if you want to, but it is, to me, kind of off the grid, okay? As long as you can power, and we are planning to be able to continue to power that, so you can see outside your home no matter what is going on. You can see what's going on. I like them because they're cheaper, right? You can get a whole package for a couple $100s. Easier to replace. A lot of these packages come with just a ton of cameras because businesses use cameras, right? And so therefore you get more cameras. So maybe you only use 5 of the cameras, and then the other 5 cameras, they're your backups. You use them if something happens to those, they get destroyed, whatever the case may be, you got your backups. So CCTVs, huge fan of those. Off-grid type of option, low level, right? Lots of cameras and way cheaper than a regular security system. And some of them have packages that have like the same stuff that you would get with like Ring, let's say, like the doorbell camera and the chime that somebody's there and different things. And you've got fancy ones too if you want to spend a little bit more money, where they alert and blue and red lights pop on. And so there's a lot of stuff that you can get, okay? But CCTVs, there's a lot of fairly cheaper options that will get the job done. And I'm a huge fan. Next thing I have is canned meat. So I talked a lot about rice and beans, but you have to be able to offset that with meat, a little bit of vegetables. So canned meat, that's getting canned meat that you're buying in the store that's in a can, and that's canning meat, buying meat, preserving it, and preserving it, and pressure canning meat, okay? But get your meat, canned meat. And of course, remember, anything canned, you're getting, making sure that you have can openers and you're having several of them, okay? Next thing I have is a radio. I just want to be able to, in any situation, be able to hear the basics. Even a basic AM FM radio, you're able to hear basic emergency broadcast, basic information that is getting broadcasted out to a big group of people. And so it is a way to, obviously you cannot converse on it, but it is a way for you to listen and hear what is happening, what to do possibly. And so it is very vital to me to have an AM FM radio. Okay, so you can understand what's happening, especially if it's a grid down, no internet, no TV type situation, and that's the only way that you're getting information to figure out what happened. You need to have those basics. Is there all types of other things that you can get in regards to communications and conversing and all this stuff? Absolutely. But I'm saying at the end of the day, having the ability to listen to basic emergency broadcasting is going to be huge. Okay. Next thing I have is, so we talk a lot about meds, but what I think is important is, and what's made it to my list, is extra strength meds and basics, right? Go, if you have not yet, and go get you your supplies. Remember, whatever time frame you're working with, go ahead and knock out that amount of time for your extra strength, either Tylenol, if you're not a Tylenol fan, your extra strength ibuprofen, but extra strength, get that in the store while you can, and get that. That helps so many things. Now, I'm not here to discuss people that like, that's bad for you, don't take pills, holistic options. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's holistic options. There's other things you can do. But do not sleep on how fast, that stuff can work when you have a super migraine or super headache, or you have cramps like crazy, or you have some pain, you hurt yourself, you have an earache, you have a toothache, basic pain, your babies are not feeling good, they're ill, they're sick, giving them a little bit of Tylenol. You've got to have the basics, and you want to have some extra strength. You can go get the regular stuff at your Dollar General, get a ton of stuff from Dollar General or Dollar Tree, but you need to get some good over-the-counter extra strength stuff. You need to make sure that you have extra strength meds in your preps, okay? Next thing I have, this is hubby's, and we were discussing this in length, but now's the time. Obviously, it's been the time, you guys, but more defensive tools. You need defensive tools. If you don't have defensive tools, you need some. I'm not telling you what kind. There's all types of lethal, non-lethal options out there, but you need to have defensive tools and the things and seeds that go with defensive tools. That is important. You have to be able to protect yourself. You have the right to protect yourself. And so you need that, okay? Even if that's a little knife on you, right? Just a little something that you carry on your person. You've got to have some sort of defensive tools, okay? And practice with them. While you can, go out, right? Go to your ranges and practice. Get your family used to that. Make it the norm, okay? Next thing I have is medical supplies. I think that you should not sleep on basic medical supplies. Even something like this from Refuge Medical that has basics, right? This is just a basic kit, and it has basic stuff. Simple things like having some Neosporin and some Band-Aids, having some burn cream, basic every day, just, little oops and boo-boos. You've got to have that stuff, and you've got to have that stuff in droves. You need to have tons and tons and tons of Band-Aids, different sizes, lots of Neosporin, lots of like burn creams, that type of thing. And then you're getting all the other stuff. You need to have the stuff. You need to have big bandages. You need to have ways to cut bandages. You need to have tourniquets, all of the stuff, okay? Again, Refuge Medical, great, stuff. I'm going to try to... if you buy from them and you just use MAMABEARprepping, it will actually, I think it's just MAMABEAR. I can't remember what the code is right now, you guys. I can't remember, so just disregard. I can't remember right now, and I don't want to give you guys bad information. But they have great stuff. They have big buckets, wound care buckets with all types of stuff. Bags and bags of the gloves, bags and bags of different size bandages for wound care. I got another little set, another suture kit. I got all types of stuff from them that I just absolutely love, added to my medical preps, and I'm so, so, so happy. Canadian Prepper was talking about his medical preps. People are trying to buy that in droves, buy him out, you know, clean out stock, tourniquets, trying to clean out the tourniquets. Get that supplies while you can now, okay? Look at your kits, build upon your kits. If you have, first of all, just some small kits like this, you're messing up. You should be building upon. It's okay to have some stuff like this for your to-go stuff, but you need to be building upon something much, much bigger, okay? Next thing I have is poop buckets. You know, you guys already know our situation. I'm very appreciative of some poop buckets. Obviously, you can elevate this, composting toilets, get the little chairs that can go over the buckets. There's all types of stuff. But at the baseline of this, you better have a bucket, and it's best to have two so you could separate. But if you can't separate, a bucket and some trash bags. If you don't have a bucket and trash bags, you do not want to get caught if you are in a city and all of a sudden you can't use it or whatever. In a rural area, this is not that big of a deal because people will just go outside. They'll build trenches, they'll dig holes, you know, outhouses, whatever, right? Very easy to adapt in that situation. But urban environments, city environments, that's not gonna be good, okay? You're gonna have people who, one, don't care. They're gonna be outside pooping and peeing everywhere. Now you have to worry about that. You have to worry about you walking through it. You have to worry about your animals walking through it that you're trying to have go to the bathroom. It's not good. You need to have a way to go to the bathroom in case your system, whatever you have, is compromised, okay? Next thing I have is preserved fruits and vegetables. Preserved in any way it is. Water bathed, pressure canned, you know, dehydrated, whatever, but fruits and vegetables, that needs to be something that you're concentrating on. That's something that I would continue to still want. I want to have options. I want to have fruits and vegetables. There's a lot of this. First of all, there's a lot of country that doesn't eat fruits and vegetables. And then there's part of the country that, you know, will not have it and will go from, they're drinking their smoothies, they're having their fruits, they're eating their vegetables every night, and then they go from that to not having it because it's not available. They're not able to get it. And so, or the opposite is there's no more food really, but there is some fruits, there is some vegetables, right? And people don't want to take it because they're like, what am I going to do with this? They don't want a bag of carrots, right? They don't like carrots. They don't want carrots. And they might get a handout or somebody gives them a bag of carrots and it's like, they're not going to want that. Okay. And so it's just going to be a bad deal when it comes to fruits and vegetables. And so if you have the ability now to get what you know your family likes to eat, and then you can preserve it so that you can continue to have it later on. Next thing I have is your water filtering system. Anything, okay? Anything. Yes, you need something more than like a mini Sawyer, okay? You need a bigger size water filtering system. If you can't afford something like a Berkey or Lexapure, you need to make your own that's like that out of buckets or the steel pans, okay? Lots of videos on that, but you need to get that done, okay? If you do not have that done, you need to get that done. You have to have a way to filter bigger amounts of water, not just, you know, hand stuff. Next thing I have is soap. Gotta have soap, gotta stay clean. Bad stuff starts happening if you're not able to just get your basic hygiene things met. And so bar soap, body soap, any kind of soap is going to be vital. This can extend to laundry and dishes and other types of soaps that are needed for other household items. But right now I'm really talking about soap to wash your body, to keep your hygiene levels good so that disease doesn't come and you can be okay. Next thing I have is salt. Again, if you have other seasonings in your preps, that's amazing. If you have other stuff, great. But at a minimum, you need salt. You need salt. Again, if you have not, and salt is pretty inexpensive, at least right now. So get you a bunch of salt, store it long term. Knock you out a big 5-gallon bucket with a bunch of salt. That will last a long time, okay? But get you some salt, all right? Next thing I have is below zero sleeping bags / blankets. So all types of scenarios could have us living in times where it is much, much colder. This could be something as simple as, a grid down, electricity is off, not able to stay warm. Maybe you don't have a wood stove. Maybe you don't have an alternate way to heat yourself. Blankets and those sleeping bags are gonna be vital for you and your family to stay warm in your home. Okay, water, food, shelter is huge, and this goes directly to that. And this is good for if you're on the road, if you're on the go, you have to leave, you're in your house, whatever's happening. Those can be helpful. Okay. Next thing I have is wood. This could be wood for your windows, right? To protect your windows for some sort of fortification. This could be wood for your wood stove, right? You have a wood stove, you need to be stockpiling wood, cords and cords of wood. Think outside the box and think you need way more than you normally would get, right? You're used to going somewhere and getting your wood or whatever, whether you're procuring it yourself or you're buying it or whatever. However you get your wood, you need to be thinking more. If you're cutting down your own wood, you need to be thinking more. You need to have more cut, procured, whatever you want to call it. Get that stockpiled, get it up. Wood. Next thing is fire starters, lighters, matches, any way to start fire. Again, this is good for on the go. This is good for grid down. You're cooking outside. You're trying to stay warm. You're lighting a wood stove. You're lighting a fire. You're lighting a gas stove or gas oven. Sorry, gas stove. Maybe during grid down. Whatever it is, okay. You need to have matches, lighters, flint rod. You need to have fire starter. You need to have all these things. You need to have options. Fire is everything. It's warmth, it's light, it's a way to cook, it's a way to boil food. Man, you guys, I'm just really off. I need my coffee, I guess. It's a way to boil water. Okay, there's a lot of things that are important. Sterilization. So very, very important that you have fire and have a way to start fire when and if it's needed. Okay. If it's not needed, cool, whatever. But when it is needed and you don't have that stuff, that's a bad day. Okay. Next thing I have is seeds, specifically heirloom seeds. And then from there, you can collect your own seeds, right? This is something I've never done myself, you guys, that I'm interested in doing. And that's collecting your own seeds, figuring out how you do that, how you dry them out, how do you keep them, and then the next season's seeing if they work, right? Did you do everything right? And you're able to procure your own seeds so that you can keep a crop going, okay? If you have heirloom seeds, if you have stuff like that, you'll be good, okay? But you need to be getting seeds, okay? I know right now it's big, everybody's getting into their garden and stuff, and so you say seeds and everybody's like, I've got my seeds, I got my stuff. But think about it in a long term. If you couldn't just go to the store and get some seeds, right? Because a lot of people are just going to get seeds, or they're just going to get plants that were already established and already started, right? Imagine you can't do that. All of a sudden that's cut off. What do you do? Okay, so what do you have? It's going to come down to what do you have left, or what can you procure still, or whatever. Okay. Next thing I have is books, any kind of books, manuals. I think that is so important to have information. Again, thinking about grid down, thinking about a situation where we don't have the internet, whether that's war, whether that's cyber, whether that's grid, it doesn't really matter. Having a actual book that you can pick up and look something up, look up a medical emergency, something is happening. How do I fix this? How do I make somebody feel better? How do I do this project? How do I build this? How does this work? How does that work? Books. That's a huge survival item, is books. Okay, books and manuals. Next thing I have is deodorant. Again, another hygiene item, but it's needed. Is there other holistic ways that you can stay clean and make a deodorant? Absolutely. But why, when you can just prepare and get that? It's an easy prep to get and keep, and then boom, you have it. If you're able to stay clean and then put a deodorant on, what's nice about deodorant, hey, if you're skipping showers, you're not able to shower, because of water situation, whatever, it's nice to be able to put something on, even if it's over stink, or even if it's over BO and you like really need a shower, but that's something that could be helpful to your psyche, to making you feel a little bit better. Okay. Next thing I have is fertilizer. We've talked about this in length. Super important to get your different fertilizers, composting started. Get the different stuff that you want for different things, right? Get the stuff you want for berry plants and different plants and different types of fertilizers that you like, and get that stuff. They keep for a while, and so now's the time to get that stuff. You need that. Because that's going to have a shortage. Another hygiene item is toothpaste. Again, your teeth, that can go real bad. Yes, is there other ways that you can brush your teeth in a pinch? Absolutely. Charcoal is really good. Even a little bit of anything that's grindy, granular will work, right? Just to get that grime off, and then you rinse. Baking soda. There's a lot of ways to brush your teeth, but again, easy prep, inexpensive, easy to get a year's worth of supplies. So get your toothbrush, get your toothbrushes and your toothpaste, and just get that done. Okay. And a lot of people I see, when I see, and maybe they're just not showing it, maybe it's in another area, but I always see hauls, or I see, like pantries and people's closets that they're showing, and I always see toothpaste and I never see toothbrushes. Okay, so I don't know if people are forgetting the toothbrushes or to prep them because they're just not thinking about that, or if they're or they're just in a different, they're always in a different spot and not right there. That could be a thing too. Maybe I'm just bugging out on somebody. Next thing I have is vitamins. I think this is important. These are going to be regulated soon. So if you don't, or they're trying to regulate them. So what you want to do is you should be, I would want these anyway, because, you know, I'm trying to survive. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the things on this list are things that I would want. Okay. And I want vitamins, stockpile vitamins. Every time I learn about a different vitamin, then I'm like, ooh, okay, I like that. I stock up on that vitamin. The thing is that they're trying to regulate it. And so then that's an issue, because now you have to go to a doctor to get some sort of vitamin. And then if you have a doctor who's maybe not real big into vitamins, or not big into holistic stuff, and it's like, girl, what do you need that for? You know, so while you can just buy stuff freely now from all over the place, do that now, and get your vitamins. Next thing I have is propane, butane, lamp oil, all your different fuels, your little fuels for cooking, alternate heating, your lighting, right? Your lanterns, get all that stuff, stockpile that stuff. Lamp oil's kind of expensive, but you got to get it. Okay. It lasts a little bit, but you got to get it. Propane, it has been up and down. Butane, I haven't checked butane lately to see how bad inflation has hit butane. But again, if you have a cook stove that takes both, you want to have both options. If you have heating sources, buddy heaters, whatever, that take propane, whatever it is that you have, you need to make sure that you have that fuel type for it. Okay. And next thing I have is water, baby. You already knew I was going to say this. Water, super important. And I don't care who you are. I'm a huge believer that everybody, no matter what your situation is, no matter where you live, no matter how many acres or lakes or rivers you have around you, that is great. And you need to learn how to procure from that stuff. But it's very important that you still maintain water on your property, immediately in your home. Okay. You need to do this. Okay. There's a lot of scenarios where that stuff can be compromised, and you're going to be dependent on the water that is in your home. Okay. So you have to have both. I'm not saying that stuff's not amazing. That stuff's amazing. If you have ponds and lakes and rivers and creeks and all this stuff on your land and wells, that's amazing. Okay. I am jealous. Okay. That is amazing. But what happens if there's fallout? And you're now trying to deal with that stuff's contaminated, and you need to be, in the meantime, relying on water that's inside your home. Okay. Just, there's a lot of things that could happen. Okay. Not even nuclear fallout, but there's just a lot of scenarios that could have your water contaminated, or those entities contaminated, and now you can't depend on them. Okay. Just think outside the box and have options. That's all I'm asking you to do, okay? Okay, you guys, I think I have one more. I'm just double checking. Yep, one more is a Gerber. I think, oh, my eyes. I think it is super important to have a Gerber. If you don't know what a Gerber is, it's a little tool you can put right on your belt. It has a little case. It has knives, tools. It's a multi-tool, right? It has all types of stuff that you can use throughout the day, and it's amazing, okay? In the field, that's what we use, and it's amazing because you can cut anything you're trying to open, work on. It has a lot of stuff that you, oh, my eyes are doing something. I think it's this light. That is helpful, okay? So I love a Gerber. They're kind of expensive. There's other multi-tools that you can get that are cheaper, but I'm a huge fan of Gerber and the strength of a Gerber and all the different tools and things that are on it that are great, okay? So it can be used as a defensive tool, but it is a great everyday tool to have right on your person, so you're ready to go, okay? So a Gerber. That is, I think, 25 items, you guys, that I would want right now. If you're looking forward and you're trying to decipher what's going to happen, what could happen, these are the things that I want like right now. Like I have to have these things. These are the minimum things I need to survive. I know a lot of people be like, where's your bug out bag? Where's your all your defensive kit and all your other stuff? There's so many other things that, yes, are important, that I think are important and have a place. But if you talk about like true survival and what I really would need to do to get through every day, just with nothing else coming in anymore, like I just really, these things on this list are things that I appreciate, okay? And look at these things. Think about these things. Think about your preps and think about, okay, maybe I have one of these, but I need another one, or I need more of something, or hey, I have one of these knocked out completely. Let me move to the next. These are very, very important items, okay? And you're gonna figure it out from your budget. You're gonna figure it out by whatever food process you're working on, your system for prepping, right? And you're going to figure it out by just, priority, right? The priority of what is important to you and your family, right? Water might be more important than, the fuels. The fuels might not be important to people, like people that are used to living with less. And it's like, you know what? We're not going to have no lanterns. We're not going to have an alternate cook. So we're just gonna cook on the, open fire. And so the fire stuff's more important than the fuel. They're like, we're not even bothering with the fuels. So priority is gonna drive it too on what is priority for you and your family. So I'm looking forward to the comments below. I want to hear what you guys are saying. Hopefully you are not getting into the shenanigans of bread and circuses. Hopefully you have identified and realized that this is what it is. And it's going to be hard, I know, for some of you guys, because it's such a sensitive topic that some people that can identify, hey, drama and stuff that's being inserted as a distraction, this might be harder to see because the emotion that it evokes. And so we can be friends. Let's just not, it's okay to have differences and to think differently and to have different beliefs. It's not okay to not be kind and just, we can be adults and have conversations about stuff and disagree about stuff. There's no need to be so divided that we're protesting and hurting each other in the streets, over something that they did to us, okay? Somebody leaked that. Just ridiculous on its own, okay? It's a distraction. And because it evokes emotion, deep rooted emotion, it's going to make people want to do stuff and feel a certain type of way, okay? And so don't be distracted. Keep pressing forward, keep doing the things, keep getting the things, and I'll see you guys on the next video. All right? Cheers.